stood when I was small, and it's so picturesque, looking through the crystal.
Ciao, and welcome to Gio's Paintbrush, where 5 minutes is all it takes to be blown away by one of the world's greatest artists. We're celebrating the 25th episode in the Gio's Paintbrush series today with a trip back to Italia, to Toscano, Florence to be exact, to consider the most influential, clever, and remarkable architectural and engineering genius most Americans have never even heard of, the prickly Florentine Renaissance man Filippo Brunelleschi, the architect, inventor, engineer, and builder of the masonry dome atop Santa Maria del Fiore, constructed in Florence between 1420 and 1436. It was Brunelleschi who looked at the gaping hole in the ceiling of this church begun in 1296 in his hometown of Florence, inspired by the ancients and their crowning achievements like the Pantheon in Rome, and said, let's invent a way to get 37,000 tons of building material, including about 4 million bricks, more than 180 feet above the floor of our cathedral, and then find a way while we're up there to build a dome that can be seen for miles, without any of those unsightly wooden frames or buttresses to keep the thing from falling down on top of us. Even more amazing is the fact that Brunelleschi sold the cathedral's governors on this plan. The result was an achievement and a structure that defines the can-do, optimistic spirit of the Italian Renaissance and of Florence itself, ground zero for the inspirational recreation of classical Greece and Rome in the wake of the darkest years of the Middle Ages. Brunelleschi didn't just dome a cathedral. His attitude and spirit and ingenuity helped to launch the modern world by offering a beautiful symbol of what man can accomplish, even earning the praise of Michelangelo himself, who more than a century after Santa Maria del Fiore was domed, began work on designing the dome for St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, striving to live up to the singular result achieved in Florence by Filippo Brunelleschi. Thanks for joining us. There it is laid out in front of you on a beautiful June day, just across the River Arno, viewed from atop Piazzale Michelangelo, the most beautiful and historic skyline in the Western world, Florence, Italy. Remarkably, this skyline was largely constructed between the 13th and 14th centuries, hundreds of years before the term skyline had even been coined. The two dominant features set against the backdrop of the Tuscan countryside are on the far left, the Tower of Palazzo Vecchio, built 1298 to 1314, once home to the powerful Medici family, bankers, political and religious rulers, and patrons of the arts, and far right, Filippo Brunelleschi's gorgeous 15th century dome atop Santa Maria del Fiore, St. Mary of the Flower, so called because of the flower that has served as the historic symbol of this king of Tuscan municipalities, the lily or giglio. Brunelleschi's dome, even in the 21st century the largest masonry dome on the planet, is a one-of-a-kind architectural achievement. It is more beautiful and striking on the outside of the cathedral, as a work of art and as a symbol of modern man's ingenuity and creative impulse, than from the nave, despite the wonderful, enormous paintings on the interior. How did Brunelleschi build this inspirational structure, at the time the largest dome anywhere in the world, without the buttresses to hold it up? In fact, hidden inside the dome before you in this image is another octagonal vault, helping sustain the outer dome. He also incorporated horizontal reinforcing elements in his design, chains of iron and stone wrapped around the inner dome to hold it together, the way iron hoops hold the parts of a barrel in place. But Brunelleschi added sandstone cross ties to the supporting structure and had the masons lay the brick in herringbone fashion, further stabilizing his dome. And he designed all of this while hiding the complex engineering that supports the dome from view, and then supervised its construction, inventing lift systems to move the material skyward, without the benefit of today's methods of achieving mathematical precision, computers, powerized machinery, or motorized vehicles. In 2000, the English author Ross King, in his best-selling book Brunelleschi's Dome, helped remind the contemporary world of the debt it owes Brunelleschi as an architect, engineer, inventor, and visionary. King points out that Brunelleschi, a silversmith and clockmaker, was an unlikely hero who journeyed to Rome to view the ancient ruins in the true spirit of the Renaissance, of rediscovering the beauty and heroic endeavor of the ancients. Among the structures Brunelleschi saw was the Pantheon, constructed between 118 and 128 AD, with its 142 feet wide circular dome. Later, as Florentines watched the dome at Santa Maria del Fiore go up slowly, there was a palpable sense that this was a project for the ages. According to King, the backstory of the dome's construction included red tape, legal disputes, professional jealousies, cost overruns, philosophical disagreements, labor disputes, political battles, missed deadlines, wars against rival Italian city-states, and even at one point Brunelleschi's imprisonment, issues all too common in today's design and construction worlds. But Filippo stuck it out, committed to making his vision a reality. Then on August 30th, 1436, after more than 16 years of construction, the cupola was consecrated by the bishop of nearby Fiesole. In the words of King, the bulk of the task lay behind them, including local workmen who had to climb the equivalent of a 40-story building every morning just to get to their workspace. The people of Florence had been given the dome they had dreamed of for almost 70 years, and Filippo had succeeded in performing an engineering feat whose structural daring was without parallel. There is indeed something miraculous about the sight of the dome, regardless of where it is viewed from, whether close up or far away. The fact that it was built by men, and built amid war and intrigue, with only a limited understanding of the forces of nature, only makes it more of a wonder. Today, visitors can climb the 436 steps to the summit, getting glimpses of Brunelleschi's engineering along the way, and a reward of breathtaking views of Florence and the surrounding hills at the top. Even after this amazing achievement, capping the decades-old hole in the roof of Florence's prized Duomo, with a stunning work of technical and artistic genius that glorified God and confirmed Florence's role as the cultural powerhouse of Italy and indeed of the Western world, when it came time to finalize a design for the lantern to top off the dome, the Opera del Duomo, or governors of the cathedral, insisted that Brunelleschi participate in another competition to secure the contract. Begun just after Brunelleschi died in the spring of 1446, his lantern was ultimately finished by Michelozzo, a dear friend. What does Brunelleschi's dome mean to me? Aesthetically, I find the red brick material used and the octagonal shape of the structure effective communicators of strength, stability, and longevity. It's as if in one fell swoop Filippo was saying, this church and this religion, this human race, this Florence and this building, the work of human hands, a work that grew out of both reason and faith, is here to stay, is built to last. And the so-called Dark Ages, a period in which poverty and disease and ignorance and suffering define the lives of many men, is no more. Inspired by the ancients and offered to future generations, including our own, as a symbol of what humankind can achieve in spite of itself, Filippo Brunelleschi's dome atop Santa Maria del Fiore, to me, is the very idea of optimism captured beautifully in simple brick and mortar. Thanks for joining us.
I can picture it like I could when I was small, and it's so picturesque, looking through the crystal